11 days became, we decided to create 11 themes to go with the 11 days, just ways that people could raise consciousness and take action. And those themes have developed into 11 campaigns for change. And so, they are, just so we have the entire list: unity, interdependence, environment, economic justice, health, children and youth, women, human rights, freedom, disarmament, and peace. So if you want to get involved with what we're doing with your organization, if you have a plan that falls into one of those areas, and we created the 11 themes to be totally comprehensive for a global transformation, you can go to we.net and you can subscribe to the newsletter there to keep up with what's going on, and sign up your organization and even join our We team. We have a wonderful We team that meets every week with coordinators from around the world. So, and as I was saying, Sue, you have some very interesting plans coming up too. And what is that about the 11 gardens?
Well, I would like to show you, and I'm going to share my screen again and go to, let's see here, the 11 gardens. Whoops, let me get you lower here and present. Okay, so what we have is that we're going to go through 11 gardens of global unity on the road to 2020 and beyond. So we have our little timeline that shows where we are walking through September on this road to 2020. Of course, this is September 2019. And so we're going to start on the 11 days that it would be starting on September 11th, which we remember as the day of tragedy, but also of unity, because that's when we pull together. And
exactly.
So what we're going to do is show what that looks like through the arts, and do that at Kanapaha Botanical Gardens. And this is in Gainesville, Florida, where I am. This is a map of the gardens, and dear Karen was just here a couple of weeks ago, and we walked through the gardens. And so I'd like to show you what we discovered. We went first and found a gazebo and decided this is where we're in the Garden of Unity. And we'll start out with some songs and a little bit of dance. We have a lovely dancer named Whitney Wilson, who's going to be helping us with this. And then we're going to the Garden of Interdependence, where they have this wonderful lattice work, trellis for us to work with, and the theme of interdependence. We're going to the Garden of Environment, and they have a beautiful bamboo stand there. It's one of the largest in Florida. The Garden of Economic Justice is this magnificent tree, and we have ideas for how to share some of the activities that are going on in Gainesville and around the world. The Garden of Health is a special one. We're working with our dancer is from the Arts and Medicine program at the local teaching hospital. And then we come to the Garden of Children and Youth, and it has dragons and all kinds of little cute and fun things to be with. The Garden of Women has a stand, a bench there, and the quotation is from Gandhi: if we are to have real peace in the world, we shall have to begin with the children. And then again, we have the Garden of Human Rights with more bamboo, a Garden of Freedom. You can't see it too well, but there's a waterfall right in there and a little pond. And then the Garden of Disarmament, heads down to the Garden of Peace. And this is where we will be sharing the songs of peace in another gazebo. And that was our friend Karen. So maybe you could tell Karen what that was like for you.
That was great. Sue, that was fabulous.
Oh God, it was like a piece of heaven for me to be there. Honestly, it felt like a dream come true to be with Sue in Florida, and it just was so divinely guided through the two of us to create this beautiful co-creation of the 11 beautiful gardens of global unity. And when we just started walking through, she just grabbed her little camera, her little phone, and started recording me. And I just went into miskindness, and I don't really even know where that kind of came out of me, but it was, every piece of it was divinely being guided through. And now we are taking this, our beautiful friend Rick, who is the founder of We the World, loved this idea and wants to incorporate it into the 11 days of global unity celebration for the 15th anniversary. So this will be the first anniversary of us doing the 11 gardens of global unity. And if you want to be one of those people who want to do a garden in your area, and it doesn't matter if you do all 11 or if you decide that you want to just do one, or you think that you'd like to, you know, you have something that you're really passionate about for women, or you're really passionate about for children and youth, but you have another friend who maybe is really passionate about peace, maybe you could get together and do something together and see what you can ask that question. What can we do together that we cannot do on our own? You know, when Sue and I got together, we asked that question and we started really coming up with some great answers. And so I would encourage you to email Sue or myself. So it's Sue Blythe at wetheworld.org or Karen Palmer at wetheworld.org. And you can directly send that to us, and you will be right away, we will send you more information. Now, Rick is going to also help us to put up on the website. So if you go to we.net, we will be putting up on the website some activities and ideas and suggestions and ways that you can do this in your own community. And we're going to have recordings of songs and things like that, so you'll be able to just download everything. It's all going to be free, and it's all going to be available and super, super simple. That's our goal, right, Sue? Super simple. and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Rick.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's fabulous. And it's an opportunity for people who are already committed and interested in creating a better world to have a greater visibility, because during this time of 11 days of global unity, and of course September in general, there's a big focus on all of these activities that are taking place. You know, there is this General Assembly meeting that is going to have a focus on climate, you know, at the UN. And then there are all these other things too. There's going to be, I believe it's September 13th, the high-level forum on the culture of peace that is opened by the Secretary General of the United Nations. We the World is part of the group. The group is called the Global Movement for the Culture of Peace. And Ambassador Anwar al-Chowdhury was one of the founders of the group. And this year they will be celebrating the 20th anniversary of the declaration or resolution that the UN made back in 1999 for a decade for the culture of peace and nonviolence for the children of the world. That was the resolution. A decade for culture of peace and nonviolence for the children of the world. And that was I guess 1999. So this is the 20th anniversary of that. And at this high level forum, they'll be celebrating that and talking about that. And so it's a very powerful event. and it is part of 11 days. It's part of all of these interesting things going on in September. Of course, there are other things as well on what is our day of disarmament, for the theme of disarmament, which is September 20th. On that day also, that will start a week which they're calling, I believe they're calling a Peace Week, and it ends up on September 26th, which is the International Day for the Abolition of Nuclear Weapons. And there's a lot of stuff going on with that. And in fact, there's going to be a preview of something taking place in October that has to do with counting the money and actually moving the money in the United States. You know, in the United States, there has been some kind of budget for updating the nuclear arsenal, and it costs $1.5 trillion. And so the question is, what other ways that money could be used for weapons that nobody ever wants to use on the planet, because it may become the end of a civilization, and yet we're putting all this money into it, $1.5 trillion over a 10-year period. So anyway, so there's all this stuff about moving that money. First, they're going to count the money with these kind of fake $1 million bills with a nuclear, like a mushroom cloud on the bills, and then and then talking about how it can be moved. So that's so many different things. And then of course there's Peace Weekend, which is the International Day itself. And there is this push, which is it's going to be kind of culminating a year from now in 2020, for this idea of having the International Day of Peace be declared an international holiday. And it might be the first global holiday. And so there's a big push for that, and there's all kinds of things happening on Peace Weekend. Of course, the International Day of Peace itself is celebrated by something like 3,500 organizations in every country and every continent on the planet. So all these things happening in September, and we want to know what's happening with you. We have our Global Unity calendar, and we would like to collaborate with whatever you are doing. We can cross promote and do social media cross promotion and all kinds of things. Thank you.
And Sue, what would you like to say in closing on this idea for the 11 Gardens of Global Unity, another brainchild of yours? So beautiful.
Well, this was not my brainchild. I'm thinking of the coloring book that is your brainchild.
Oh, yes, that was true. That was true. It was my idea, wasn't it? I forgot that.
And by the way, Karen,
I guess it's just so divine, you know. I just forget that we are one, right? We're one global family. So I guess it doesn't matter who it came through. But yes, I am going to be doing my second series in the conservation series of musical coloring, educational musical coloring books. And the second series here is going to be for the 11 Days of Global Unity and Grandparents' Day, which is September 8th. And we have a beautiful song that my dear friend Jeff Pine has given us to use the rights to put this into my musical coloring book. And he is an incredible musician, and the song is so fun and uplifting, and I know you're just all gonna love this so much. And so the musical coloring book will actually be something that you will be able to download right from your computer. You'll be able to play on the computer. We're going to have it so that it'll be interactive, so you'll be able to see all the different ways that you can play along in the gardens. And also there'll be activities and ideas of ways that you can do this in your corner of the world.
And speaking of the world, I notice you're wearing the We the World T-shirt. It looks great.
I'm wearing the We the World T-shirt. Absolutely. And I typed into the chat, if you want to wear clothes you wear to show you care, I encourage you to go to globalkindnesstv.org/We Are One. That is the one beautiful unified rising of the clothing store that beautiful Heidi Little has put together an incredible amount of beautiful, beautiful conscious clothing. So I encourage you to go to globalkindnesstv.org/We Are One, and I've typed that into the chat. All you have to do is click on it. It takes you right in. You'll see every kind of t-shirt you can imagine, but this one is with the Declaration of Interdependence on the back.
Yeah.
And I have written another song to go with the beautiful song that was written as a theme for our Declaration of Interdependence. And that will be rolling out in the coloring book coming up. We're going to hopefully get it out by August and have it available so you can have that with your grandchildren. You'll be able to share it with your grandchildren, with your children, with the people in your life and the people that you love.
And what I would like to mention is that back to Kanapaha Botanical Gardens, we're planning to do a Grandparents' Day event to help take people through those 11 gardens and learn how they can be part of this movement for the elders who are really, the way I consider it is people in my generation, many of us have been working on these social and environmental issues for half a century, some of us. And so we have a lot of experience, hopefully a little bit of wisdom that we've gained, and we want to offer that to the young people. And so having gatherings of the elders is where I'm focusing my attention so that we can help to get them ready for working with young people. I would like to share with you one person who is doing this wonderful work. I met him just last week and would like to share with you a video of him talking. His name is, whoops, sorry. Let me pull him up here. There he is. It's Jason Rodney, and he's with Climate Generation, and I'll let him explain about his program. Oh, let me just check. Let me just check. I need to fix the volume on this.
That's
I'm
right.
sorry.
Share the
that. Yep.
share the audio.
Yeah, let me try that again. Oh dear, I've lost. There it is. Okay, so checkbox, and then that should work better. Sorry. Find him somewhere.
Okay, we understand technology. It can be very patient and challenging.
You have to pull him back to the start.
Oh yeah.
Just click. Yeah, there you go. And drag to the left. Drag to the left.
Right about there is where I want to start.
And we have lots of different aspects to our work. And my work is I'm a youth organizer, so I work with teenagers in Minnesota who want to engage in the climate movement. And it's a real joy in my work. But our mission at Climate Generation is supporting individuals and communities to engage in solutions to climate change. So our work is broader than just with youth. We also work with educators. We have curriculum and a training institute for teachers who want to incorporate climate solutions into their teaching. And we do a lot of story-based organizing also, just with broader communities. So we have trainings for businesses and organizations and neighbors to learn about how they tell their climate story and use that as a jumping off point to lead their communities into action.
So that's what we're about, and trying to help people tell their stories and use that as a stepping point for moving into climate action. And we have a number of tools and resources to use. One that I love to share is called Peace First. I'm not sure I put that in your list, but it's peacefirst.org. And what they do is ages 13 to 24 can identify an injustice in their community, and especially if it's one that affects them, it's most meaningful. And then Peace First offers lots of tools and resources that they can use to develop an action plan. They have digital mentors that can help, they have a training for digital mentors to be able to assist the young people in getting their action plans to be most effective. And they also have $250 mini grants. And so when there's expenses that are inevitable, I guess, as you're working on projects, that money is there for the kids to apply for. And so it's just a really wonderful program that I hope we can get into action. I mentioned the Elders Climate Action earlier, and several of us in Florida want to start a new chapter, and so that we can develop our own networks and programs here, kind of unifying the many different people in many different organizations that we're already working with in different groups. And so having an umbrella they can work under is, I think, going to be very helpful. And we'll see if we can do some magic.